Welcome everybody, I'm Stephanie Regan, business strategist here at Real Estate Dynamics. Today I get to sit down and have a chat to Jamie from Code Property Group on the Sunshine Coast. Jamie has just finished our 8-week Standout BDM performance program, and during that program she secured 44 new clients. Jamie, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're very welcome.
So Jamie, let me ask you, first and foremost, where do most of the sources come from for your new management?
Well, we have a very, very small sales team here, so not the sales division. It actually comes from networking through my own referrals. So aligning myself with the right people who have something to do with the real estate industry, who are going to be in contact with investors. So just as an example, display home sales agents or accountants, financial advisors, sales agents who are in a sales only agency. So there are so many avenues that you can extract, brokers, bankers, all of the above. So a large amount of my week is actually meeting with the relevant people and building a good relationship and rapport with them.
I love that you said that. I talk to a lot of different business owners and they have property management only companies and they think, oh, because I don't have a sales team, I won't be able to build a strong business. But it's fantastic to hear that you agree there are so many other avenues that you can go down to network with people and secure those new businesses.
Yeah, 100%. And I've never been, I guess, lucky enough to squeeze the life out of a sales team. But at the end of the day, it's kind of a blessing in disguise because all the good BDMs survive off networking, not just the sales team, because we're at the mercy of the market if you select that as your main networking and referral tool. So I definitely recommend, even if you are a BDM that has a huge sales team that's high performing, I think it's really important to still get your bread and butter elsewhere.
Absolutely. Now, let me just touch on that for a moment and talk about prospecting. So tell me, do you spend a lot of time doing that prospecting? And is there days that you allocate to doing that or certain hours? Or how has that worked and how important do you think that is?
I think it's really important to be regimented while keeping in mind that BDM is a role that's kind of 24/7. So, there'll be random times of the day that I am speaking with people, and that's perfectly normal. To put it down, make an ideal week, but don't get upset if you can't stick to it that week. I'd recommend minimum 1 networking appointment a week with someone else that you've never met, that you just wanted to connect with. LinkedIn's a really good place to start with that. And 2 hours a day would be calls. So I really focus on channel 1, which is our existing clients, contacting our landlords to not only be on top of, how our property managers are going, what they like about our service, if there's anything that they want us to change. So developing the business as a whole, not just my business within a business, which is great for me to get that feedback, what they are and aren't loving, so we can change and tailor the service to our clients. So moral to the story, prospect as a minimum 2 hours a day and have a good database system, and make sure, if you won lotto and you're on a tropical island somewhere tomorrow, someone could just fill your shoes because there's so much information on your database.
Absolutely. And just on that, so you did secure those 44 new clients during that time.
Yeah.
Now, your role in BDM, how long have you been doing that for and how long have you been in the industry for?
So I've been in real estate for 8 years. In my first 3 years, I kind of bounced between everything. I didn't really find the right role for me. And then I took to BDM 5 years now. So I've been in BDM for 5 years, which has been a good experience. I definitely do love being a BDM. I think it's the best job in the whole office.
Fantastic. And so do you think our Standout BDM performance program would be suited to, I guess, someone who is just starting out as a BDM and somebody who would be, as like yourself, who is an experienced BDM?
Oh, 100%. Like, even an experienced BDM should be learning and evolving constantly. And I think knowledge is power, and I'm always listening to podcasts and reading and picking apart brains of people that are just successful in every industry, because there's golden nuggets you can pick up from so many people, and that really comes back to your networking as well, and getting in touch with people that are doing well in their industry, because how are they doing it? What secrets can you extract and use in your own business as a BDM? So that's relatively my advice from there.
Yeah, no problem. Look, I wanted to, I guess, bring up too, A lot of the time when we talk to BDMs, it's the objections that they find very hard to overcome. So tell me, what is, I guess, the main objection that you get from people, from potential clients, and how do you get around that objection?
Fees. It's always fees. That's really the only objection that I do receive these days in the market. So the best advice really comes back to your pre-listing, and as well as your connecting with that client leading up to it. I know I've done my job when I turn to the management agreement on the fee page and they don't even question me or ask me about it. They just initial the bottom. They're very comfortable with the service that I'm supplying because I already have without asking for a cent. So it really comes back to making sure you establish a healthy, strong relationship with the client before you've even presented that management agreement, because you don't have the right to ask for the business unless you've taken the time to get to know them. What I mean by that is identifying firstly the personality type of the client, so you can tailor your appointment and yourself. As a BDM and probably any kind of sales agent, you really need to chameleon yourself so that person responds to you. And that really comes back down to doing your research, asking the right questions. Common sense is a good one. And then from there, I actually assign the client via the personality type and how they prefer to be communicated to. And that's how I know which property manager will have the great opportunity of managing them. So that's kind of in a nutshell how you can get by the fees. And we are one of the highest property management fees in Sunshine Coast. And I stand by that and I advertise that strongly. Your BDM needs to have conviction when they deliver the fees and have full belief in their property managed. They can't just be doing it for the money, because you're going to have a high turnover of a BDM. You need to make sure that they like their property managers, they have respect for the property management role, and they understand it. So that hopefully can help internally with the BDM when they're delivering it, and just their structure needs to be aligned before they've even presented the fees.
I think you hit the nail on the head there with a couple of different things that you said that I just picked up from that. One of them being they need to align themselves with the property managers as well. So they need to really learn what the property managers like and how they manage their portfolios and that, because you're right, again, you need to step into those listing presentations with confidence and conviction that what you're charging is value for money. And I think that is where a lot of people tend to fall back within these roles. So well done. Now, one more question for you. If you could go back to the start of your career in BDM, what advice would you give yourself?
As an early BDM, I would have told, and I'm a very different person as I was as a young tacker starting out, but what I would say to younger Jamie and less experienced Jamie is everything is delayed gratification. Everything you implement today will take 6 months, and that's something that I am still learning. And I think the reason that this role keeps you beautifully exhausted is because you think you've refined everything and you think you've done it and you think you're doing 110%, and then the market and the industry and people's expectations will change. So I would say to her, be patient, because it's not something that's a strong point of mine. I would tell her to not take it so personally when you lose one that you put your heart and soul in, because you know what? That will happen. There will be times where you walk out of a listing presentation and you think, bloody killed that. But at the end of the day, people will pick you because they like you. And I've always hated when people said it's nothing personal. It is personal, because they choose the person that they like. Just because they don't like you and they don't want to go with your business means that they're not the right client for you either. So you need to align yourself and identify with the people that are comfortable to work with you, and refocus your prospecting strategy to ensure that you are exposing yourself to the market that takes well to you, and be yourself, I think.
Yeah, and with that delayed gratification, I think it's important too to note and to mention to everybody listening and watching is that during our Standout BDM performance program, we focus very heavily on prospecting. And throughout the course of the 8 weeks, Jamie's connected calls was actually over 100 more than the person who came second to Jamie throughout that program. So there was a significant correlation between the number of connected calls that Jamie made during that program and the managements and new clients that she had signed. So everybody out there listening, prospecting is very important. Again, like Jamie said, though, don't just get on the phones to people, use social media and go out and meet different people in various different aspects of the industry, and then use them to be able to network and bring on more business.
100%.
Jamie, as always, I absolutely love talking to you. So many gold nuggets in there for not only leaders, but for our BDMs as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me, and thank you so much for completing our Standout BDM Performance Program.
You're very welcome.